Hi. Hey, welcome back everybody to Real Life Reboot, our page where we get our crap together 1 week at a time.
You are being awfully dramatic.
You told me that I needed to be overly smiley because I have resting dick face.
Oh my gosh.
So
Okay, well, this is you. Welcome back to Real Life Reboot. I'm so excited.
that's kind of
share
sexy.
this.
Do I sound sexy like that?
No, but you are not excited.
I am excited. I'm super excited. So here I am.
I am excited for real. I'm excited because you guys know I freaking love Monday. Love Monday. It's a do-over for the week. But if I love Monday that much, then obviously a new year, a whole new year, a whole new decade. Oh my gosh, yes.
520 Mondays coming up.
Yes. That is super exciting. So tonight we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions and goals, but don't tune out because it's going to be different. We have a little trick word that's going to mess with you a little bit and help you look at them totally different, and a formula that you can take pretty much anything, run it through it, get onto your goal quicker, and change your life.
Yeah, well,
Why do we do that? Why do we want to make New Year's resolution goals all the time?
I think because when you finish the year up and you look back on it, a lot of times we're just dissatisfied with how it went, and we feel like maybe we could have had some more control over.
That's good. I think a lot of times that we make goals because we want more control of our life.
Yeah.
Less chaos. I feel like actually we should just tell them about our Christmas.
Yes.
Because I think I've never been so
of
appreciative
chaos.
of no chaos as I am after we got back from that.
We just finished the Christmas Odyssey of all time with
We were on tour
no
for
beginning,
7
what
days.
seemed like no end. And it started off bad and went to worse. Started off with what? You got sick?
I got sick for like 2 or 3 days. Of course, I had no, what are those? Not oxygen masks. What are those
Like
things?
those Chinese SARS masks?
Let's say that.
French SARS masks?
Surgical mask. I did not have a surgical mask because I am not a surgeon.
I'm not either.
I had no bandanas. I had nothing. So I had to find a dishcloth that was like this big and had to turn it triangular. My nose was all smushed and trying not to breathe on anyone. So that's how it started. And it ended with us. We made our last stop and we left Franny, our dog, in the car because we had little kids at this stop. And wait, we have to tell them. My aunt, you know how much we love traditions.
Yes, and our tradition is her aunt makes the best fudge ever, and she packages it up in this little cute present box, and she gives it to us, and the first thing we do is we stash it and keep it from our kids.
And I hope that they forget we have it.
Because our tradition is that we eat it whenever we're wrapping their presents before we celebrate our Christmas morning.
So anyways, we're stopping and we're seeing our last Christmas, and there's little kids there, so we leave the dog in the car.
Yeah.
And we come back, and thankfully he recognized.
I open the door and I see just some leftover wrapping paper, and I thought I recognized that. And then I see some pieces of wax paper, and I thought, crap, the dog has eaten our chocolate, has eaten our fudge, and I was really mad because we weren't going to have fudge.
Yeah, he cared more about the tradition than he did the dog, but
Because the fudge is good.
8 pieces of fudge.
Yeah.
8 pieces of fudge. And I knew chocolate was bad because I secretly fantasize about, those huge, actually I need more screen.
There we go.
Those huge Hershey bars that you can buy at Casey's. Around the holidays, I secretly dream of buying that and throwing it into my neighbor's yard because her dog never stops yipping. Never. Anyways, I love animals, but yipping
The dog ate 8 pieces of fudge.
So I'm Googling, my dog accidentally ate 8 pieces of fudge. It pops up as a search, so obviously somewhere in the world someone else's dog has eaten 8 pieces of fudge.
And I look over at her, and she's ghost white, and she's got a start of a tear, and I said, what's the deal? And she goes...
Literally, the 2 words are imminent death.
And I'm like, what? She goes, the dog is dead. And at that point in time, I look back at our little Piper, whose dog it is, and realize that we've got a problem.
Yeah, because, I killed her dog on Christmas. We're never going to be friends, ever.
Yeah.
Our relationship is over.
So I called the vet and said, hey, we're about 2 hours away. Can you hang on, get us in? And the lady on the phone says,
Yeah, you don't have to.
your dog's not going to make it 2 hours. What do we do? She's got to make it vomit up the fudge, which sounded so awesome. And how do you do that?
Peroxide, or take it to a vet. So we're thinking $800.
52 cents.
Yeah, $800.
So we duck into Walmart, I grab a bottle of peroxide, and the whole time I'm thinking, how do you get a dog to eat peroxide? Do you put it in a little teacup, and I don't know.
You pry its jaws open and hope that someone doesn't call animal control
Yeah.
while you're abusing this dog on the side of the highway. It's
Yeah.
exactly how you do it. Long story short, dog is alive.
Mm-hmm.
We're never eating fudge again.
Yeah, the
So
fudge.
that tradition is over,
Yeah.
sadly. But my whole point of that story is by the time we got home, oh my gosh, like, you guys know how it is when you're traveling around on the holidays and it's crazy. Man, I was so ready to get back on our eating schedule, back on our sleep cycle, back onto our just everyday schedule. And I was like, I hate this chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it so much. And I cannot believe that up until, 4 years now, we've been on this journey. Up until 4 years ago, that was my life, not at Christmas, all
the
freaking time.
Chaos.
So for those of you who were with us all last year and has followed all the things that we've shared and may think, how are they doing all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I would think. Remember, we've been working on this for 4 years and we still fail all the time.
Right.
But
it's
anyways,
still a work in progress.
yeah.
So, we start a little bit at a time, and for this year, whatever we share,
We're going to get a little bit more clear, a little bit more specific on things, and it's going to be different. So for those of you who watched all last year, don't tune out because it's not going to be the same information. And we want you to stay along with us because it helps us to be accountable as well.
right?
So you're just gonna pick and choose what works best for you. So for tonight, we're gonna specifically talk about New Year's resolutions, and goals. And actually, I really want to talk about what is that word, goal or resolution? What do those words mean to you? Do you think?
When I think of goals, I think of something that I want to attain, but it seems like oftentimes whenever I set a goal, it seems very, very far off in the distance.
Same.
And I won't say unattainable, but just the idea, because we're natural procrastinators, or at least I am. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's my 2020 goal. I have
Yeah.
all of 2020
Yeah,
to
I've
get
got a
done.
ton of time
It
to
feels
get
like,
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely set you up to
Yeah.
procrastinate.
And then the word resolution for me sounds like something that is finite. Like, okay, I've got an answer to this problem. I have resolved that problem, and the resolution is over and done. And so,
Well, and I think that's what happens. You say, I want to lose 20 pounds, and then as soon as you step on that goal and that 20-pound mark gets there, you're done. Like, I met my goal. Yep, I'm done. But the thing is, unless you have a plan for how to live your life afterwards, you're probably going to gain that back, and you're probably going to have that on your
Right,
New Year's
same goal.
resolutions next year.
yeah.
So the word that we want to share with you guys tonight that's really helpful to us is, instead of thinking about them as goals and resolutions, think about them as a habit.
New Year's habits.
A New Year's habit. And so we're going to take an example that I think everyone can relate to, because not everyone is looking to lose weight. Not everyone's looking to change their finances. But everybody, no matter what, should be reading. That is huge, 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 huge. Everybody should be reading all the time.
And if that's a surprise to you, it shouldn't be, because everyone who is successful, everyone who has done anything great, a lot of those people, not a lot of them, I would say 99%
I'd
of
say
those people
99.999.
attribute that to reading. Warren Buffett, I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's a multi-billionaire. He reads over 1,000 pages a day. 1,000 pages a day.
That's freaking crazy. And you guys might think, oh, he's a cadillionaire. He doesn't have anything else to do but sit around and drink his espresso and, read books. But he goes to work, actually, every day. He goes to the office. And he did not get rich and decide to sit around and read books. He started reading books at a young age, and everyone who's been successful has.
Rich. Yeah.
Because books are super motivating. They're inspiring. It's a little bit of self-love if you're spending time with yourself.
Right.
Also, too, it's really helpful for your brain.
Yeah, neurological disorders like Parkinson's. It's going to keep you mind healthy, keep you out of the nursing home, which is good.
Unless it's a really cool nursing home.
That's true.
That's bingo on Friday night in a hot tub. I'm just saying.
Not chicks.
But you're going to be so alert.
That's right. You'll pick up on all the hot old ladies.
Okay, we're getting off
digress.
topic. Okay, so let's take reading for example. So you might say, this year, oh yeah, that's good. That makes sense. I want to read more this year. Well, what's more? If you haven't read in 10 years, more to you, to your brain, it's a paragraph.
Yeah,
it's a
that
book.
could be some of you. It's all relative.
Yeah, and so you're going to take a whole year to read a book. That's going to do you no good, and it's definitely not going to create a habit. So you have to set a very specific reading goal. I want to read 12 books this year. So then the mind says, oh, I see where you're going with this. Let's read one book per month. Let me figure out how many I need to read per day, blah, blah, blah. But you know what's going to happen, because we tend to procrastinate. It's going to be the 30th of the month, and you're going to be desperately trying to read this entire book.
Either that, or you're going to have resigned yourself to, I guess I didn't meet that goal, or I guess I'm not going to get this done this year. And
it's going to create a very negative vibe.
Yeah, reinforce that idea that I'm not a reader.
So instead, look at it and say, okay, I want to become a reader. What can I do to become a reader is to become a habit. So 15 minutes every morning before you go to work with your cup of coffee.
Determine that you're going to determine that is going to be something that you do. The habit that you create.
Yeah, so that would be how you would take a reading goal and turn it into a habit.
And you would be amazed at the end of however long, the year, 15 minutes a day, how much you will have read.
Right, way more than your goal. More than your goal. But the coolest thing ever is if you're doing 15 minutes 5 days a week, you're going to just keep doing it. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to be a reader the next year, the next year, the next year, and then you can go on to a new goal next year instead of that same old goal that gets put on the list year after year after year.
Read more.
And you can apply that to anything. So let's say, losing weight, obviously eating well, working out. Okay, what can I do to make my eating well good? Okay, well, I got to cook well. Well, what can I do to do that? I have to go to the store. How can I make sure I have to prep? Okay, so what is my habit going to be? I prep every Sunday from 1 to 3. Non-negotiable.
Every Sunday, non-negotiable. Yeah, make sure that you
So you apply that and you work backwards. So instead of saying, I got to lose 27 pounds this year, you just say, hey, I prep every Sunday from 1 to 3. I go to the gym Monday, Wednesday,
Friday. Pretty soon you're eating healthy because you've got the food prepped.
And then when you lose all the weight, you're just going to keep going because it's life. Having a healthy, happy life is not a destination, it's a journey. You can't get to the end and then stop. It's going to all fall back on you if you don't. So you're creating these habits. So how do you do New Year's resolutions? So what you first want to do is you're going to want to create a list. If obviously most of you guys have ideas of what you want, but what you need to do is go through each component. So starting with your mind.
Each part of your life that you have that's a facet. Your mind.
So like if you struggle with depression or anger or anything like that, you're going to break that down.
Right. Your body, your finances, your relationship with your kids, relationship with your wife or husband, your hobbies.
I would venture to say that the majority of us that have a hobby we love, we don't really ever take time to do that.
Yeah, a lot of us lose our self-care because we're worried about others. So that might be something you want to look at. Giving back. All these things are areas where you might want to do something.
So you're going to create each category, and underneath you're going to write what falls in that category for you. And you're going to get very specific. I want to lose 27 pounds, or I want to eat healthy, and I want to eat vegetables, greens, whatever. So you can get very specific. And what you're going to find, because we're all a mess, your list is probably going to be massive. Mm-hmm. So if you have this huge list, that's why most people don't reach their goals, is because they make too big of a list.
Right.
It's not manageable.
And you won't be able to do it all in one day.
No, you won't. So you're going to have to prioritize. And you're going to say, well, how do I prioritize? Well, if you're fighting with your spouse all the time, or you're fighting with your kids all the time, they need to be a priority. You need to get some date nights on the calendar. You need to figure out how you can create a habit. If you're eating ramen noodles all the time, probably finance and health is something that needs a priority. So pick, 3 or 4 and really work on those this year. It's better to get through a year and have 4 successful goals attained, changing habits that's going to carry on to next year, than have 30 that don't get done at all.
Correct. Once you've created that habit, then that just is on autopilot, and then you can touch on another facet of your life that is needing rebooting.
Exactly. So that's it for tonight. I do want to share one of my goals and tell you how I'm going to do it and why this is really important. So I have decided this year I'm going to get certified in yoga. Actually, and telling you guys is actually one more thing you can do. If you want to do something really big, tell someone, because there's some level of accountability there. Because I'm going to be talking to these people every Sunday. Come November, they're going to be like, yeah. So that's really good. So tell somebody, and break it down and figure out your habit. So for me, I'm going to add 2 more basic classes to the class I already take. I'm going to also add 2 study nights. It's going to be put on my schedule, non-negotiable. And I don't even have to worry about when I'm going to get done. It's just going to naturally evolve. I'm going to naturally finish all the hours. I'm going to naturally get better. The reason I want to do that, and this is what you guys need to know, you have to find your why. If you don't have a why in what you want to do, especially your big goals, it's going to be really difficult to stay focused and to stay disciplined. So for me, the reason I fell in love with yoga is probably the first 5 or 6 times that I did it, I literally cried. I cried, and I'm looking around the class going, oh my gosh, is anyone else crying? No, oh my gosh, anyone see me? This is so embarrassing. And I think in retrospect, the reason that I got so emotional is First of all, I do not take a lot of time for myself. My brain is always going, how can I fix this? How can I help this person? Ooh, how can I make this better? I'm hypercritical of myself and everyone around me because I want the world to be so great. And so it's a blessing and a curse. But in order to do the poses and to hold them, like you have to really focus, and you have to focus on yourself, on your body and on your core, and it's also a lot your mind. Your mind really holds a lot of this stuff. And I realized that, oh my gosh, I never focused that much on myself, for a whole hour. And that made me really emotional. I think there's like this little girl in there that's saying, thank you. It sounds so cheesy, but like, thank you for noticing me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being aware that I even exist. I'm a person in here that needs a little bit of love and attention. So that was huge for me. The other thing is, you guys, I'm going to be 50 pretty soon. And not tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I was trying to say.
Like 4 years. But
okay.
That's it. I'm not aging past 50. 50 is the end for me. So, yes, exactly, Jill. I couldn't do yoga a long time ago because it's too silent in mine. I freaked out and ran out of the room. But now I'm in a different place after the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. And now I love it. But I really want to see, what can my body do? God gave us those amazing bodies, and if you guys have ever watched anyone do some crazy yoga poses, it's insane. I just want to challenge myself. I want to see, can my body do that? So my why is those two things for myself, obviously, but if this is so emotional for me and life-changing for me, also because it's a spiritual practice, really. So imagine if I do this in my backyard with praise and worship music, and I do it with women who need it the most. So a single mom, somebody who has hit rock bottom financially, can't afford to go to the Y, maybe someone who is giving, a foster mom, a volunteer, somebody like that. Even maybe a lady who's just gotten out of prison and is really struggling to find her place in the world and to figure out how her new normal looks. What does it look like to get people to accept me? I have this criminal past. You know how much she has to hate herself. So imagine a group of women from all these different backgrounds that are really struggling in life in all aspects, whether it's emotional or physical or financial or whatever, coming together and doing yoga and loving on each other and empowering each other to praise and worship music where we're worshiping God. That is what I want to do for free once a week, and that's my why. So if you look at your goal or your resolution through that filter, what's not to keep you from going? Mm-hmm. So find something really big and really brave this year to do, and figure out what your why is, and that's going to keep you going and going, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And so we're excited for this year, like we said, and we're going to come at you next week with some more tips to begin the year and get you guys started on the right road on 2020.
But for this year, work on your list.
Yes.
Figure out how to make them very specific, cut it down to a short list, and then figure out what habits do I need to create. Thank you, Laura. I love you. What habits do I need to create to make this happen? And then just let it happen naturally.
Yep.
And then it'll become the all-new you.
All right. You got 2 days to get it set, so get going, and we will see you next Sunday.
Smile. You're supposed to be excited.
I'm smiling. I'm excited.
Okay. Turn it off.